and welcome into Cullman in the Morning. I'm Debbie Wood, and we have a guest today representing West Point High School right here in our community. Mr. Heath Yearwood is here today, and we're going to learn all about West Point. So I think you're going to enjoy this segment. And good morning to you.
Good morning.
I've heard over the years great things about you, your name. I've heard, you know, in the context of being a coach, yes, and then now you're West Point principal. How many years?
Well, I'm in my 28th year in education. I've been the principal now. I'm in my 9th year. I was assistant principal there for about that long, about 9 years, and then I was a teacher and coach before that. While I was assistant principal, I was the varsity basketball coach. I was the head basketball coach, and I've coached football for years. Now I know I've been in it a long time when I'm starting to get all the kids of the people that I had taught. So,
and that makes us feel really old,
really
doesn't
old,
it?
Really old.
When you see those, and well, I think it, and not just that, but the fact that it goes so quickly.
It does.
I mean, you know that yourself. What do you think, just from the outside looking in, what do you think is one of the most important things that that you learned as being a coach and teaching all those years, maybe that has come with you to be a principal?
Well, I think hard work. I was blessed to have great people. Usually everybody that's in education had someone that really impacted their lives.
Sure.
And I was blessed to have that. I had great teachers that were at West Point. I came from Jones Chapel. It was a great family, community, small school. But I was really blessed there. But Billy Cullman was our football coach, a super Christian guy.
Yes.
And he was a great influence when I started in college. He wanted me to help coach. And so I started coaching as a volunteer when I was in college, and then I was hired into the position, and 28 years later, that's kind of how I'm at that. But I think the biggest thing I took from athletics was the hard work, dedication, realizing that goals could be achieved.
Sure.
And you know, sometimes you would put all that hard work, but things wouldn't always just turn out like you wanted. You didn't get the win,
right,
but you realized life was going to be that way. And so what I really have tried to instill on my players and my former students, that you know, you learn a whole lot about yourself during those hard times, because you're going to need to know that you could get through hard times, like when you're in a marriage, maybe with children, things going on financially, whatever it is.
Right.
And I hope that we've instilled more than just the book lessons at school, that we have life lessons as well.
It's so important, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
We just see it every single day. We want to talk about some of the great things that you guys are doing out there. One thing is the AP classes in the program. And for those folks at home maybe that don't understand how that works, what is that and how long have you been doing it?
Well, it's the Advanced Placement Program. AP classes are offered throughout the United States.
Right.
And a lot of schools do dual enrollment. We're blessed in Cullman County. We have a lot of schools. They associate with Wallace State Community College, and we have kids that do take dual enrollment classes. But our school didn't have as many teachers that were certified to be able to do dual enrollment.
Okay.
And so we started looking at what would best serve our students. And we ended up receiving a grant. And we went in, and now that we have in 2013 and 14, we had no AP classes. And now you can have 9 AP courses at our school that you could possibly take to get college credit. And then we also have 10 pre-AP courses.
Okay.
And in the last year, we have started AP Computer Science. And you know, in the state of Alabama, that's starting to be a big push with the computer science program, because of all the local industries we have that have to have for programming, making parts, different things, robotics, all those different things.
Right.
The computer science program, we were blessed to have one of the just few percentages of schools in the state of Alabama that has this program.
That has that.
Yes, ma'am.
That is awesome. So what do you think the percentages of your students that actually take AP courses? Is it pretty good?
Yes, it is, and I really don't have the number right in front of me, but
okay.
it was amazing the number of our students now that are juniors and seniors that have had at least one course.
Okay.
The large majority of them have at least had one AP class. Now, in AP testing, what you have to do is you take an exam at the end of the year, and if your score is so high, you're awarded college credit. And then in the grant the students also receive money for doing that. But I'm going to tell you, it's a big sacrifice too, because these students have to go to 3 different study sessions on Saturdays, and then they have to take mock exams and stuff. So it is like almost taking a mini college course. That's why they're allotted college credit if they receive it.
A big commitment on their part and also on their parents' part. And let's talk a little bit about that too. You guys are known for your Scholars Bowl, for your math team. you do a super job. That's also a big commitment. I have some grandchildren that have been on the Scholars Bowl and the math team, and I think of the commitment that they make, and also their parents. They make it, but it's so good for them.
Well, as you know, from being in a rural school like West Point
Right.
and Cullman County schools, a lot of times there's not a lot of funding out there. There's
Right.
not a lot of support with things, and so our parents are vital.
Yes.
From fundraising, they make everything happen, whether it's the baseball boosters, the softball, football, to Scholars Bowl, the theater, fine arts, whatever it is. If it was not for the local community, the advertisements that we sell, the support of the parents running the programs and doing things, it wouldn't be possible. But
Sure.
We've really been blessed. Our Scholars Bowl's been nationally ranked several years in a row. We've won state championships,
Yeah, great.
and it's just really super to be at a small school like ours and still be able to do that. And then the math team, they've been county champions for near 30 years. And they have recently won a state championship as well. Again, we had several that had been back several years ago. So we're blessed. We have great teachers at West Point High School and great students.
You really do. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about some of the other programs that's happening at West Point, and I think you're going to find that interesting. So stay with us. We'll be back with more of Cullman in the Morning right after this.
You're watching My Cullman Television on Charter Channel 180.
I worked at this coffee shop while I went to Wallace. I used to joke that I was going to buy it one day. That's how Wallace made me feel, confident. Funny thing is, when I came back to Cullman, I didn't buy that coffee shop. I opened my own instead. I wasn't sure what I wanted to be. Now I know what I was meant to be. Going to Wallace really opened my eyes, even without the caffeine. My name is Katie Fine, and my story began at Wallace State.
In 1916, Warren Miller chose auto owners insurance. Later, his son made the same choice, as did his grandson. And today, his great-granddaughter did the same. As we celebrate 100 years, we're grateful to our independent agents and to those who have put their trust in us, and to the generations who will. Auto Owners Insurance.
Night Free Insurance Agency in Cullman is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
What if we designed a paint that not only made your bathroom look like a spa, but stood up to the humidity of a shower this steamy? Or even this steamy? If it's a matte finish paint and can resist any amount of moisture, is it still paint? Aura Bath and Spa from Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. Find Benjamin Moore Premium Paint. Available now from your local paint experts at O.F. Richter & Sons.
And welcome back into Cullman in the Morning. With us today, our guest is Heath Yearwood. He is the principal at West Point High School. And we've been talking this morning about your AP classes, which are phenomenal, and also the fact that you guys have won several awards over the years in math and also on the Scholars Bowl team.
We have. We've had great success, and again, that's attributed to the great parents, the
Yes.
teachers doing a great job. It's a partnership that comes in, and that's one thing at West Point. We have a lot of still community buy-in, a lot of great support.
You really
no
do.
matter what we do, we've been able to do a lot of school improvements on things around there, and that's because of people volunteering time and donations of materials and different things.
And that's so neat. And I know you probably have a lot of the parents that actually attended school there, so they're still there, and they just love it, don't they?
They do, and they still have a lot of pride and commitment with that, and they want to see things look well.
Yes.
And so they really helped out a whole lot with it. But our Scholars Bowl program, again, you mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
One thing I like about Scholars Bowl, we really like a lot of the diversity of kids that we have at West Point right now, and this allows for that because the Scholars Bowl is not only your academic kids, the ones that perform maybe better in math or science, English, whatever, but there's also other questions on there that's going to come from sports or just regular trivia, music, whatever it might be. So you have 4 or 5 kids that will participate on each team. We have a JV and a varsity team, and then they also do our middle school as well. And as they do that, you know, sometimes you may not be an expert in one area, but you can contribute to the team. So that's what I really have enjoyed about that.
I bet. A great bunch of students and their instructors. Let's talk about your arts classes or your drama class. You guys are really coming on strong in that area. Tell us about that.
It was a real big focus. Last year, in the last couple of years, we really started. Ty Parker was our band director, and then Ty has moved on now. He is at ARAB. But we really tried to up our fine arts department. And we have that going on now. And Kim and Jimmy Harbison are 2 of our teachers. They're husband and wife actually there. And they've continued that. They help with Mr. Parker with the theater program. And we've got a big spring play that's coming up. It's 3 days that's going to be in the latter part of the spring. But we're also having a dinner theater February the 16th on a Saturday night at our West Point Auditorium. And we're wanting to sell 200 tickets, but we're thinking that's about to be sold out, so we may have to add another show.
Good. That's a wonderful. So it's been received very well then in the community.
Yes.
Not just in West Point, but I'm sure all around. And do you see a lot of the students that are excited about it and want to be a part of it?
They really do. And you know, when you first thought about it, you have your athletes that like to do one thing, and you have your arts, you know, people that are really in the arts and crafts and different things that like to do. But what we found out, a lot of our kids intermingle. They are intertwined with all of them. And it's really helped the whole school morale. When you have ball players that are acting in the theater kids are going to go to the ball games. And it's really helped a lot because they support each other.
Absolutely. So look forward to that, February the 16th. You'll be seeing more about that, and you can get your ticket if they're not already sold out. But as we close today, we want to go back just a little bit on AP classes. Now that's for the juniors and seniors, is that correct?
Yes, and then we have pre-AP that the younger kids will take also as well. And so, and then there's also even some there's classes that will help to build the foundation in middle school that kind of go along with it.
And that was, I think, sort of where I was coming from, is if somebody's watching and their parents are interested and want to explain to their children, they'll be getting information, of course, I'm sure, from school, but you can start early and know where you're going. And is it important to know exactly what you want to do when you graduate in order to take those classes, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, because you're going to have, most of these are going to be your general classes no matter what your major is going to be. Now, the computer science program is something that if you have a career that you're going into, for instance, my son is in mechanical engineering at UAH right now. And one of the areas that we didn't have at West Point when he came through was the computer science, and coding was an area that's real big for that field now. And that was one of the reasons we're glad that we have this now, because now we not only have the mathematics we're giving, but we're also providing everything. So, but most of them is going to be, you don't have to know what you're going to do yet.
Exactly. So just be looking for that, and we're just so glad that you came in today to see us, and nice to meet you, and thanks for doing a wonderful job in caring. You can tell that you really love your students, and you love your school, and you love your teachers.
That's right.
I understand you've got some great teachers
out
there.
We do. We're blessed, and I appreciate it, and thanks for having us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us today.
All right.
And of course, with us today, Heath Yearwood, the principal at West Point High School. We hope that you've enjoyed today's show, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Have a great day.